Hey, what's up, y'all? Hold on, let me take the sunnies off. I want to thank you, Eye to Eye, for checking out Sway's Universe. And I appreciate it. We got so many videos we want you to see, so push that notification button for me. Do it now and enjoy the video. Peace.
This is Sway. Sway.
Sway.
Sway.
In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning. Shake it, wake your punk ass up. That crust out, y'all.
Dane is here, man. We're talking about The Last Ship. Really, we're talking about Dr.
Yeah,
Dre.
I think we only said that one time.
I know. I'm sorry, E, man. We just love you here, bro.
Thank you, bro.
But just listening to your breakdown of that particular song, how deeply invested are you into music? Like, you knew an MP3, you know a synth. You're talking about how he EQ'd his hi-hat. You're talking about that must be a live bass. You think that's a live bass right there? The highs, the strings. You're sitting there breaking down this song.
I'm just guessing, knowing Dre.
You're just guessing?
I'm just guessing.
You can't guess an MP3
No,
unless you got...
an MPC.
I mean, excuse me,
Yeah,
MPC. Yeah. See, look at
Yeah,
that.
right.
Yeah.
No, I know my way around a studio a little bit. I got friends that produce music, and it's always been kind of a hobby of mine. But it's breaking down a Dre song is interesting to me because he does do it so well.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was kind of fun, just like
having that conversation. Right.
Yeah.
That's how we talk every day. Man, you got to come hang out with us. I already see that.
Yeah, that's a trifecta.
Yeah, you drink too? Do you drink?
No, I don't. But
Okay.
but I'm just as fun.
Okay.
We believe
We
you.
can still hang.
We can still hang. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a bigger drinker either. It's Rich drink Guinness.
All right,
Guinness.
so we're going into the last ship. So with the last ship, you're going into your fourth season.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because you see a lot of these scenarios. Say, for instance, the one that's going on right now with this crop-killing virus, red rust stuff that's going around, and you've got Peter Weller, RoboCop, who plays the doctor, who's pretty much controlling all of this stuff. Do you ever see stuff in the news, I guess, like in between when you're filming seasons, and do you ever think like, damn, that would be cool to use for the next season, or some kind of way to interject real life news? You see the icebergs melting and all kinds of shit happening.
Right, torn
around
from the
world.
headlines. When we first started airing, it was weird because I felt like we were like 8 months ahead of the news with what was happening. And then I think around before we aired season 3, there was a doctor in Sweden or somewhere in the Scandinavian parts who found a 30 million year old virus that they thought would be a good idea to thaw out. And just to study it. And I was kind of like, you haven't seen my show? Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but, and it's interesting because there's that seed bank over there and what we're dealing with right now is that the virus started out in the plant kingdom, jumped to humans through animals and a bird. Now it's back to plants. So the world's starving because it's killed all the food. And then season 5 is another interesting, which we're filming now, is another interesting concept. But I'm just amazed that these guys keep coming up with stuff because after season 1, I was like, what are we gonna do now? We got one ship, we've cured the virus. What next? We'll go on a cruise through the Mediterranean,
And now we're talking about season 5, and season 4 hasn't even premiered yet.
No, well, we shot both back to back. We're almost done with season 5.
So you got another check coming for another year.
Yeah, I got a few more checks coming in.
Did he just stun on us? Everything he just stun on us? I believe he did.
Yeah.
Lights are on.
So we should start talking about investing again.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, man.
You got some tips for me.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Eric, I have a question for you. All that's happening right now with our military and with our Navy in terms of the peninsula and all the action that's happening in that area, all that's happening with the transgender ban that got released last week. I know you guys stopped production in season 3 for the Orlando shootings. I'm just curious, do you now think about world events through the lens of military and military theater and operations?
You can't not, because we are so sort of, enmeshed in everything we do. There's Navy culture that influences pretty much everything we do, and I'm doing it 5 days a week, 14 hours a day. So you really, like, living in that culture and being such a part of it, you start seeing it through that lens. But it's been easy for me to sort of differentiate between the two, because I go home and it's not Navy because I'm not calling the shots, and at work I am, but I get home and it's the exact opposite, so I get brought back to reality really quick. But
you don't call the shots at home?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I got 3 girls at home. I got a wife and 2 little girls, and the girls are calling the shots.
Yeah, man. It's all right. Don't feel bad,
And the
bro.
wife. And,
But you know Dre. You know Dr. Dre.
I know Dr. Dre, and I'll always have Dre.
Okay. All right. I want to ask you about this too, because I also read that you guys stopped production because you was experiencing depression.
I was.
Clarify it. Is that something you've always had, or did you realize it?
Something I've always dealt with,
Uh-huh.
but it was always something that was manageable for me, And when it happened this time, I felt pretty conflicted a lot because I didn't feel like I had anything to be depressed about.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out what was going on, but that also informed me that depression's very real, and you don't have to be in a shitty set of circumstances to be bummed out. And I got to be honest, I take a medication now, and it's called Prestique, which I thought sounded like a good mood, so I jumped on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how'd it work out?
It's working out pretty good. I feel all right. I'm back to my old self. But the break was needed. It's a difficult show, which I think compounded everything I was feeling. And when I finally I couldn't go to work, I was like, Jesus Christ, I got to take care of this. I got to do something about this. Because this is obviously pretty bad.
Is it something you don't? Are you a public speaker about it, or is that something you don't want to take?
No, but it's a part of my life experience. It's my deal. So I don't shy away from it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and then did you have to go to the family, or did you make the decision to go to a doctor, or like for those who
No,
are?
I went to it's like a place in Arizona. I went to a treatment center in Arizona that dealt with things like this.
Okay.
And we really got to the bottom of what was going on. Medication, obviously, I'm a flip about that, but medication was just a small part of it. There were a lot of other things going on that I had to look at that I've been ignoring for years. And it was a tremendous help for me. It changed my life. It was also probably nice to step back and exhale and have a break for a little bit. But the day that I said, I turned to my wife and I said, babe, I don't think I can go into work today. I just don't, I can't do this. She said, all right, well, we need to get you some help. I said, I think you're right. Let's do this. Let's get some help.
I love your wife, man. She seems like she's real cool, man.
She's strong.
Real bossy too, though, huh?
Yeah, she is very bossy. She's very bossy.
Well, I commend you,
Thank
for
you.
number one, because a lot of folks go through depression, don't know what it is, the stigma behind it. They, they're scared to talk about it, and so I commend you for sharing that. I appreciate
Thank you.
Absolutely, Mike. You got a question, or you good? Because I got a game for him.
Okay. Yeah, the question.
Go ahead.
One, I appreciate you sharing about the whole notion of depression. And when you were talking, it made me think about a lot of us, if we're entrepreneurs or own our own companies, we feel that we put our work ahead of our own personal sacrifice and for our personal health. And so what was the decision for you, or how you were able to push through to say, I am willing to hold up set, hold up production at cost of maybe the production staff in order to take care of myself? How did you push through that difficult decision knowing others will be affected as well?
I gotta say, look, it was never my intention to put folks out of work, and thank God we kept the majority of our crew. Everybody stuck around. I think the network was really good about making sure that was doable. And to the credit of the network, when they caught wind that I was struggling with some stuff, they were, their attitude was like, it's fine. It's a TV show. His health is the most important thing, which, my hat's off to the folks at Turner for having that attitude. Everybody was very supportive. And I think, the stigma of mental health and depression, I don't know if it's kind of dissipating a little bit, but, I think, people take it very seriously. And B, I think people respect it enough to know that, you got to give somebody a break every now and again. And it's not such a bad thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, Eric Dane is here, man. The Last Ship 2-hour season 4 premiere Sunday, August 20th. We got Mario on the line from San Diego. What up, Mario?
Mario.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? What's up, man?
Yeah, I was a stand-in. I was in the Navy. I did the first 2 seasons. of the show, of the last ship, and I stood in for Jocko Sims.
Oh, you did?
But yeah. But man, Eric Dane is the coolest dude ever. I remember we were on the USS Mercy, and he had the bread Jordan 1s on the set right before we shot a scene, and it was just cool. It was just an awesome experience. He was just a nice guy, great guy.
Wow, that's what's up.
Thank you. I'm right here. Thanks.
Well, you had the J1s on?
I have a couple pair of those, yeah.
Yeah. You a sneaker
I do. I just got I don't know what number they are, but the patent leather ones.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know what number that is either. I got did you get the Eminem ones? The
No,
fours?
which ones are those?
The fours?
Eminem's got his own Jordan 4. I have a couple pair of those.
They ain't the Eminem ones.
No,
It's
they're not the
same.
Eminem ones.
Yeah, it's not the
I
same.
can't even afford them shits.
Yeah, those go for about
1,000.
People be buying them for $20K,
Whoa.
$25K, $35K.
For a pair of sneakers?
Yeah.
Y'all, kid you not.
There's more than that too.
Yeah. We got T from Tennessee on the line. Go ahead, T.
T2.
Hey, good morning, Sway and family.
Good morning.
Dane, question for you.
Yes, sir.
I know most actors, they normally go and work with people as they prepare. Retired Navy here, 26 years. Did they allow you guys to go and work with some Navy? Because I know commanding officers and command master chiefs kind of do not do some of the stuff that you and your guys do while serving.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for your service. And, so, we actually work very closely with the Navy. Our scripts go to the Pentagon before they go to me. So we have Navy on set all the time with us, and we listen to them. The first ship we shot on, USS Halsey, where we shot the pilot, the captain, Mike Wheeldryer, is now at the Pentagon buying weapons for the military, which is pretty cool. Yeah. I can't talk too much about it. But.
Where are you going with this?
And that's it, Sway. Pull out, Sway.
All right, okay.
So to answer your question, we work with the Navy closely, and it's a good synergetic relationship.
Hey, T, thank you for your service, man. You're a citizen.
That's Sway in the
Thank
morning.
you, bro.
All right, let's get into this game before E leaves, man. Something triggered this idea, so
Talk to me.
we got a specially themed mystery sack.
Go ahead.
Couldn't we call it Sway's Mystery Bag? Sway's Mystery Sack.
All right, so you got to pick a few. How many questions we gonna do?
There's a couple in there.
About 3 or 4 questions and answer honestly. There.
You want me to just pick one at a
One
time?
at a
though,
time.
One at a
Read it
time.
out loud.
Read it out loud, man.
You have to answer honestly.
If Jay-Z came to you asking for advice on remaining faithful in marriage, what would you say? I think you're a little late, Jay.
All right, question number 2.
Top 3 hip-hop crews or groups? NWA, Boogie Down Production, and I don't know. Naughty by Nature was pretty good, right?
From
Tribe
Jersey.
Called Quest,
Okay.
maybe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
Okay,
that's
okay,
good.
that's pretty
That's
good.
good.
That's pretty good. Naughty by Nature.
Pulled
He
up.
went to
Jersey.
Jersey.
Stand
Heather
up.
got
Jersey,
excited.
stand up.
What's your biggest guilty pleasure rap song? I mean, guilty what? How do we qualify guilty pleasure? Is that implying that it's a bad song,
Something that you
Well,
wouldn't play.
that you wouldn't
like some Vanilla Ice
Yeah.
something-
shit?
They're not proud.
Yeah. But you be killing
Something
it when it
I
come
play
on.
right that I don't want to open the windows when it's
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I gotta say, and I don't know, I think he's the best, but I do listen to some of Eminem's new stuff. For some reason, like I listen to it loud, I bump it, it's amazing, but I don't want to roll the windows down for some reason, and I don't know what that's about.
Yeah. Cause you
But
feel
that-
weird, you feel weird rapping like him.
Yeah, I don't know. Just to see a white guy bumping Eminem in a car loud, I just feel like there's like a stigma or a stereotype. You're like, oh, you listen to him. I bet he's the only one you listen to.
All right, let's get one more.
That shit is funny as hell.
But hey, man, that's one of the greatest shit,
Favorite hip hop beef and why? Jay-Z versus Nas, Drake versus Meek Mill, Remy Ma versus Nicki Minaj, LL Cool J versus Cannabis. So I don't know a lot of these, but I thought Jay-Z versus Nas was real.
That was
I thought that was real. And they made up, which is cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, there you go, man.
Respect.
Hey, man, you did a great job
Thank
with
you.
this, man.
That was dope.
Eric Dane, man. Don't forget August 20th, The Last Ship Season 4 premieres. A 2-hour premiere. And you're already in production of Season 5. Congratulations.
Thank you. Hey, it's so great coming by to see you guys. Always
man.
pleasure.
Hey, bro, you always got a seat on this show.
Right on.
Okay?
Appreciate it.
All right, Eric
Thank you.
Dane, ladies and gentlemen. We also want to thank Elizabeth Olsen for coming by.
Yes.
MC8
MC8
and DJ Premier for coming by. I was trying to get Premier to stay so you could meet him. Yeah, I tried to get him to stay, but he had to take MC8 back to the hotel. I told him he was coming by. Guru, rest in peace, Guru.
Rest in peace, Guru.
Right?
And Premier produced a couple tracks on the first Nas album, right?
Yeah,
Sure
yeah. Eric Dane, man. Yeah, you gotta love this dude. Who on the show tomorrow?
Tomorrow we got Trader Truth. He's going to be stopping by, as well as John Boyega.
John Boyega.
Oh, I like him. He's
that
cool.
kid is talented, right?
Super
It's in
talented.
the
Yeah,
new
man.
movie Detroit.
Mm-hmm. So we'll be talking with him, man. Eric, thanks for coming through, brother.
Thanks, bro.
All right, Heather, how can they reach you?
at the Happy Hour, WHB.
Twitter, Instagram, citizens, find me there at It's Tracy G, ITSTRACYG.
It's really DB everywhere.
I am Mike Muse, MUSNSAME, Twitter and Instagram.
OQ Shoots on Instagram.
Eric Dane is on social media, right?
Yeah, real Eric Dane.
Okay, I'm
I
at real.
couldn't think of anything else.
Okay, well, I'm real Sway. So
There we go. Okay,
there you
cool.
go. Across the board until tomorrow, we have nothing left to say.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shea 45.